Hey Wirefly fans, this is Jeff Gregory and I'm here with a cell phone schmackdown between two heavyweight contenders, the HTC HD7 and the myTouch 4G. Both phones are available on the T-Mobile network and recently launched and are two of the hottest phones on the market. Now, as you can see, some of the obvious differences are the size. The HTC HD7, much bigger, has a 4.3-inch screen. The myTouch has a 3.8-inch screen. Both screens are TFT LCD screens with 480 by 800 pixels. So you get basically the same picture with the HD7 being a little bit bigger. The resolution is not as good, but again, both about equally quality pictures. Not as good as you're going to see on a Super AMOLED phone or on the iPhone, but still really nice pictures. We take a look around the phone, very similar. They both have 3.5mm headset jack, volume rockers, micro USB ports, dedicated camera buttons with the same picture quality, 5 megapixels, 720 video. Difference up front, on the HD7 you just have a back button here, a home button, and a search button that pulls up Bing. And on the myTouch 4G you have a dedicated phone on the touchscreen menu, applications, and a dedicated My Faves button if you're into My Faves, and as well as the home button, a settings or menu button, the back button, and the Genius button, which pulls up the voice application Genius, which allows you to call, send text, email, or search, and that's something that we demoed in the myTouch 4G review, which you can check out, and we'll put the link up there for you so you can check out the Genius demo, as well as another very cool feature that you see here on this phone, which right there is the front-facing camera, which will allow you to do video chat, essentially video phone calls. Very cool, very fun technology, and something I see becoming standard on phones as they become more high-end. And again, you can check out our full review of the myTouch 4G for a demo of the video chat. So those things aside, we're going to take a look at inside the phones and compare. They're both very similar in terms of speed. HD7 has a first generation 1 gigahertz processor. myTouch has second gen 1 gigahertz. They're both Snapdragons. They both come with similar amount of internal storage. HD7 has 16 gigabytes. The myTouch comes with 12 4 gigabytes internal and 8 on an SD card, and expandable up to 32. So the first thing we'll take a look at here, I've got the screen set up. Over here we have the new Windows interface, the Windows Phone 7. As you can see, there's almost no resemblance. There is no resemblance to this previous Windows Mobile. It is a complete overhaul of the Windows experience. On the myTouch we have a HTC Sense UI. It's a MySense. It's being dubbed, but it's essentially HTC Sense rebranded as T-Mobile MySense. Both very smooth flowing, very useful, and very intuitive. The live tiles is also known as Metro, and essentially your options are limited to what you see. You get two screens. You've got two screens on the home settings. You have a list of your applications and your tiles. Whereas on the myTouch 4G, you come standard with 5 screens that you can customize with whatever is most important to you. You can add widgets, you can add icons to applications, whatever you want to do, you can customize it to your liking. Again, on the HD7, you don't have those options, but what Windows has done, what they believe they've done, and I think they've done a pretty good job, is they've created an interface where you don't need to customize it. They've got everything that you really need within one touch and a few slides of your finger. So we'll start with social, and we'll take a look at what the options that you have. Now, all Android phones come with various widgets that you can use to pull in streams of your Twitter feed or Facebook, so you can stay connected with your friends. So I'm going to open Friend Stream and tap on the People tile. So here you have the Android version, and it's pulling in my Twitter feed and Facebook feeds. So here's how I can stay in touch with what all my friends are doing. I can check out updates, photos, view links, various notifications. You know, a nice interface and cutting edge at one time, but if you look on this side, you've got a much more enhanced effect. I love what Windows has done here. We'll come back, and right here it takes you by default to your contact list, and you can see here it's pulled in all my contacts from Facebook, Outlook, merge them into one, where possible if they're on Facebook, pulling in their images, or if on Google, pulling in their Google icon, and just sorting it, and look at that smooth flowing up and down. And to go straight left, swipe left, and you get the feed. And again, just a very nice user interface, crisp letters, black background, which you can alter a little bit, but again, very smooth flowing, and I can keep track of everything that my friends are posting on Facebook. And actually, correction, this does not come with Twitter feed capability. I'm not sure why Windows ignored Twitter, but this people section is just your Facebook feed. So that is one advantage that the Android phones do have over the Windows phone. As far as interface and feel, I certainly give the edge here to Windows Phone 7. And we'll take a look at email. Again, not much to look at in terms of the differences of how they pull in the data. Both are very easy to access. Either your Gmail account or your Yahoo account or your Live account, as well as your office work email. And but the only difference you can see again is the interface, and this is where I think Windows Phone 7 has taken it to a nice new level of readability and ease of use and just attractiveness. Here you've got your standard text. You can read a little bit of the subject line. Over here you can read a lot more of the subject line. It's clearly delineated, good separation between each email, and again, just a little, this is a nice smooth scroll, but over here, to me, it flows a little bit smoother in Windows 7. So again, that's your email. Again, both sync up very nicely. Text messaging as well, same thing. Both have multimedia capability. Let's take a look at the browser. The HD7 is running Internet Explorer Mobile, and the myTouch, which is running on Android 2.2 Froyo operating system, is running WebKit 3.1. So let's go in here and we'll take a look at how each of them loads. We'll try to do a mini speed test here with wirefly.com. Yep, so here we go. We'll try to do a quick browser test here on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. These are both on the same wireless network, so network speed, and they're both T-Mobile phones, network speed not an issue. This is strictly a test of how fast these phones render information into a browser. And we see HD7 pulling up, and myTouch 4G. They're both still pulling up. The wireless network that we have internally is not that fast, so do not be alarmed by the apparently slow speed. Now it looks like the HD7 has finished first, and the myTouch just finished. But one of the things we're going to want to take into consideration is that the myTouch attempts to load Flash, whereas the HD7 pulls a static image that we have loaded on our site. So there you have a look at the browser experience. You can see both very crisp. The HD7, again, being a larger screen, makes for a little bit easier reading and navigation. So it all depends on what your tastes are in terms of the browsing. But both very nice browsing experiences and very capable browsers. Next, we'll take a look at calendar functionality. And again, both have very similar layouts. Again, it all comes down to design, and Windows Phone 7 to me is just much more aesthetically pleasing. I don't know of many applications for the Android phones that can match this kind of appearance and feel. Again, you see here good scroll, but a little bit choppy, whereas this just smooth flowing, big bright letters, you know, making it very fun to read, very easy right there, one tap away from adding an appointment, or one tap away from adding an appointment, event name, pulling in here. Both have the slide down menus. Again, slide down menus. So both make it fairly easy to stay on top of your day-to-day life. Again, for aesthetic appeal and just plain fun, I would go with the Windows Phone 7, but very, very close match. And now to me, an example that shows what Windows has accomplished with these phones that I think just does make it a more appealing experience can be seen in the marketplace. So here we go. I've loaded Android Market and Windows Marketplace. Well, again, up and down, scrolling, nice, clean look. What Windows has done is gone to the horizontal experience. And for me, what I believe it does is it just gives a sense of more room in the phone and more options, and just a greater feel. So not only do you have this, you can go left and right. And visually looking, right away you're shopping. If you're shopping for apps, that's HTC apps. We'll take a look at apps. Loading applications. You know, when I first tried it, to me this looked like a mistake because the font wasn't there, but what you'll learn pretty quickly is that's an indication that there's more on the next page, if you will. So start scrolling, and you've got a much more visual, graphic experience, much more enticing to me, a much better shopping experience than you'll get right now on the Android phones. Much more visual information, and you'll see that especially in the music marketplace, which the music player is run by Zune. So you come in here, load an album, 30-second clips, pulls up the album cover, pulls up an image in the background. Very cool experience. One of the key things that the HD7 does not have, besides the key features that I mentioned of the front-facing camera, the Genius button, Windows Phone 7 does not have copy and paste yet. So if that's an issue with you, you may want to wait. Now, Windows has said that copy and paste will be coming for Windows Phone 7. We're just not sure when, so keep that in mind when trying to decide between these two phones. I think we're going to stop there, the Schmackdown, and I'll try to sum it up just by saying that, you know, these are both, you can't go wrong with either phone. These are both great high-end phones, very functional, very customizable, with a lot of great features. The myTouch has almost every feature imaginable. Both are Wi-Fi hotspots and can do just about anything you need a phone to do. The difference will be in terms of how much customization do you want. Do you want 5 screens, or do you want the well-defined interface of Windows Phone 7? And that is entirely a personal matter, and I leave that all up to you. I look forward to reading your comments in the video, and thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the myTouch 4G versus the Samsung Vibrant. Thanks, Wirefly fans.